Hi guys, so I'm gonna read one of my favorite comics, Kingdom Come. So as TL recommended I read this, and I'm really glad he did because I love this comic a lot. I love all the future characters because this is set in a version of DC's future. I think it's in a world called Earth 22. It's like an alternate future version of the DC heroes from around the 90s, 1990s. And yeah, the artwork is probably the best, one of the best comic. Alex Ross, I think, is probably one of the best comic book artists of all time. It's absolutely amazing artwork. And there's all these like little Easter egg characters. Like I don't know. There was a guidebook on how to identify them. Um, I don't think in the scan though it's in this one, but yeah, but all the characters, even the background characters, have like names and little backstories, which is really cool. So this guy, for example, is like Firestorm. He's like the new Firestorm in the future. And there's Jade, Green Lantern's daughter. There's Batman, Wonder Woman. There's Superman and Shazam, or Captain Marvel. And there's Mr. Miracle and Big Barda's daughter. And there's Green Arrow here, and there is the Flash's streak here. Actually, I think that's supposed to be Green Lantern. I'm not, or no, actually, I don't think it is. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Um, this person wearing like the coat. I'm not sure who that is, but anyway, so here's like a big sprawling thing of all the future quote unquote heroes, because as you'll learn while I'm reading the story, the heroes in the future are not really heroes, they're more like villains. Um, but yeah, in the guidebook thing in trade paperback, like they had all the names of all these like characters. I don't know. I know there's Captain Atom, the Spectre, Magog, who's the main villain. Um, there's Black Lightning's daughter. There's a bunch of characters. So, Chapter 1, Strange Visitor.
There were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. And there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. There fell a great star from heaven, burning as if it were a lamp. And I beheld and heard an angel saying with a loud voice, "Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth!" It's in the revelation of St. John, all of it. I can go on. There's more.
That's enough, Wesley.
I see things, Norman. Divine prophecies.
Nightmares, Wesley. You've had them before. That's why you're here.
Not nightmares, Pastor. Visions.
Wesley, they're not.
7 thunders will utter their voices, and it was given unto them to make war with the saints. Babylon falls, Norman. Be the one who listens to me. The sands run out, and I can do nothing but wait in my own filth for sleep to finally claim me. Someone must act. Jeez. Mr. Dodds? Doctor?
Wesley, please. Take comfort. There is peace awaiting.
For me not. For you. Hear me, Norman. I owe you much. Yet I have nothing to leave you save insight, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses. Hurts. Be my witness, Pastor. Read the word of God. Wesley. All there. The end is near. Read the book. Read. First Corinthians is 15. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. Behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. There was more, but Wesley never heard it. In the end, he was listening to another voice, from Lord knows where. My service was brief, his mourners few. My wife and I met Wesley in his twilight, and had been the last of his friends. He had came to our church, questioning what there was to believe in these days. I wish now I had better answers. The three of us shared many a dinner in this apartment. Ellen, God rest her soul, would in one moment tease Wesley mercilessly about living in the past, and in the next beg him to spin another tale of his. How did she put it? His glory days. Sometimes I wish I'd made more time to listen with her. Wes's stories were melodies of wonder. Back then, it seemed, his dreams were of yesterdays, not tomorrows, of times bright, not barbaric. Once upon a time, he said, he'd call himself the Sandman. He was a superhero. So there's a newspaper here, and it says UN enacts more metahuman censors. Will censors curb metahuman violence? And yeah, metahuman is basically the DC version of superhuman. So people with superpowers are metahumans in DC. And the Marvel version is mutants or superhumans. And 91% say no, 7% yes, and 2% undecided. And there's more text. I think it's just gibberish though. But click. You'll excuse the expression. Before the bitterness overcame him, Wesley and I would walk, pick our way through the city. For hours, he'd bemoan the passing of things like Olympic Games and Nobel Prizes. Sometimes he'd ambush complete strangers and ask them how much they missed the concept of human achievement. I don't know what surprised me more, the oddity of the question, or the growing number of people who seemed to know what he was talking about. I tried to defuse him. I joked that he was grousing like any old codger, unable to appreciate the new generation. He wouldn't laugh. So there's like a statue destroyed. And here's, for some reason, there's like a picture of Bjork. And yeah, I don't know, I can't remember where I learned that from, but yeah, it's supposed to be Bjork, the singer from the 90s. Wesley insisted that human initiative began to erode the day people asked a new breed to face the future for them. So yeah, I'm gonna be stopping a lot because there's a lot of Easter eggs in this comic. So there's alternate egos. So there's a bunch of books, memorabilia. It says John Law, aka the Tarantula, who was a superhero in the 1940s. So that was a book written by the superhero Tarantula. I don't think I read his first appearance on my channel yet. Behind the Mask, I think that's supposed to be Jesse Chambers. So that's a character. I think that was Liberty Bell. Or Jesse Quick, sorry. The superhero Jesse Quick, I think.
But Behind the Mask was from Watchmen, though, so I don't know. It was by Hollis Mason in the Watchmen continuity. Um, it was by the superhero Night Owl, so I don't know. They changed the author, but in Earth 22, I guess. So Gotham Knights is memorabilia, so that's the baseball team, I think, for Gotham City. Oh no, Under the Hood, Hollis made. Okay, so yeah, they're Behind the Mask and Under the Hood. Oh yeah, I didn't see that just then. So yeah, so they didn't change the author, so this is just something Alex Ross put in there. And special signed game ball, last ever World Series '02. So yeah, that implies that this story takes place after 2002, and this story came out in 1996. So I don't know. It's sometime after. It's probably not long after 2002 because the technology hasn't changed very much from 1996. But he mocked their worth, these newcomers, and spoke instead of legends gone, of costume champions who had, in his day, inspired human achievement, not belittled it. And there's the restaurant Planet Krypton, so there's Batman. They look like they're Super Friends versions. Green Lantern, Plastic Man, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Lobo. And Lobo only makes a cameo in this, or Lobo and Plastic Man only make cameos in Kingdom Come. Well, most characters just make cameos. And Marvin from Super Friends, he makes a cameo. Um, yeah, so I don't. Yeah. The weird thing is the Green Lantern is Hal Jordan, but Hal Jordan isn't the actual. According to DC Wiki, he's not the Green Lantern in this that you'll see later on. It's actually Alan Scott for some reason. Um, and the Flash here is Wally West because he was the Flash when this in the 1990s. But you'll see what happens to Flash later on in the future. So he said he swore he'd never forget the world they came from. He wanted them to be remembered. He wanted them to live again. Good afternoon, citizen. How may I serve you? And there's Batman #1, first appearance of the Joker and Catwoman, and Batman's solo title. There's a lot of Easter eggs coming up here. So what do you think? Not a bad job on the tights, huh? They tell me I make a pretty good green... What do you call 'em? Arrow? Hello, citizens. How may I serve you? I'll have an American way on white. I want to speak to the manager. Tell Booster Gold that B's here to see him. So yeah, that's this is the superhero Fire from Justice League International. So this is her in the future, and this implies that Booster Gold owns the Planet Krypton restaurant chain. There's like in a glass case there's an Adam West Batman costume. There's people dressed up as Shazam, Supergirl. There's a girl that resembles the Carrie Kelly Robin from Dark Knight Returns. There's Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Flash, and there's Superman's rocket. There's the original Batplane. There's Green Arrow's boxing glove, and like a batarang or something. But give me a black condor straight up. And for the lady? Damn it, somebody's run off with the handcuff arrow again. So get another one out of the back. And then he leaves and he says, like, hey! But the Sandman has gone to his grave without one grain of faith in the future. And the saddest part was, he was far from alone. So the person running here is actually the future version of Kid Flash, who you'll see later on, probably in a cameo. But the future version of Kid Flash is in Kingdom Come is Wally West's daughter. And with each passing day, hope for tomorrow has become more and more precious, a commodity among everyday folk. Still, I try to keep the faith and hew to the scriptures. And here there's that's supposed to be Jimmy Olsen as the big monster from, because in the 1950s there was a story where he transformed into like a big like sea monster and he was rampaging. I don't know why that would be on a billboard though, but yeah, that's an Easter egg to Jimmy Olsen. According to the word of God, the meek would someday inherit the earth. Someday. But God never accounted for the mighty. And so all these superheroes are fighting each other. They're the so-called superheroes, they're supervillains because they're causing damage everywhere. And they're not fighting like bad. They're not fighting like villains. They're just fighting each other. That's just to fight because they're bored. The world Wesley left is filled not with his heroes, but with their children and grandchildren. They number in the nameless thousands, progeny of the past, inspired by the legends of those who came before. If not the morals, they no longer fight for the right. They fight simply to fight. Their only foes each other. The superhumans boast that they've all but eliminated the supervillains of yesteryear. Oh, small comfort. So all this is happening is like they move freely through the streets, through the world. They are challenged, but unopposed. They are, after all, our protectors. I tell myself that this too shall pass. That humans still have a chance to reclaim a world rightfully theirs while it still exists. That in the face of superhuman might and superhuman odds, time has not yet run out for humanity. So there's a news report. So there was an explosion in Kansas. And that'll be explained in a sec. I am wrong. And there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And the third part of the trees was burnt up. And all the green grass was burnt up. And he opened the bottomless pit. I don't know if this is deliberate. I think this guy looks like George H.W. Bush. I don't know if that's like deliberate or not, but he looks like the former president, George H.W. Bush. And the sun and the air were darkened. Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of judgment is come. He... Forgive me, this isn't what I wanted to... Forgive me. As they leave, they shy from my gaze. My congregation has trusted me for years, and today I betrayed them. In mourning, unable to even to fathom the news that has stopped the world, they came to me seeking encouragement that I cannot give. The news Wesley knew. The visions he had, the prophecies, the dreams. I thought he was insane. But if he was, and so now am I. His dreams are now mine,
and they are visions of utter despondence. He wanted someone to act, but what can anyone do? Kansas proved it. Thanks to the superhumans, the end is near, and the word of God so very far.
So there's the Spectre coming in.
Away.
I have need of you, Norman McCay.
No, the visions talk to me. I have gone mad.
Hardly, in fact. Your sanity may be paramount to mankind's survival. Even as I stand before you, an act of unspeakable evil has begun to manifest. Armageddon is fast approaching. But you know this. You have the dreams.
You see into my mind, my soul. You are an angel?
Of a sort. A higher power has charged me with the task of punishing those responsible for this coming evil. Long ago, I would have judged swiftly, with clarity, but my faculties are not what they once were. In order to carry out my task, I must anchor myself to a human soul who seeks justice.
But I don't.
You will.
If this is true, if this is not some new delusion, then why me?
Because I came too late in search of the dreamer Wesley Dodds. He saw tomorrow with a power he did not understand, but passed to you nonetheless. Now your dreams will guide us both. In order to fulfill my mission, we must both witness the events that will lead to Armageddon. Come with me.
I cannot simply leave. My congregation depends on me. They look to me for...
For what?
Very well, but explain this to me. If you are truly a being of great power, how is it you can find no way to avert this catastrophe?
That is not my task. Once, Earth boasted other saviors who might have stemmed the tide of destruction, but as you will see, they are no longer the solution. They are, in many ways, the problem.
Where are we?
What do you see?
I see a okay, Midwestern farmland. But that's not possible.
There's no need to lower your voice. We cannot be seen or heard, not even by him. Oh.
The farmer looks familiar.
He should. Though he is not of this world, he came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. You know him by a name he has not used in 10 years.
Superman.
Not since he began his self-imposed exile.
I remember. He left Metropolis. Something happened. A trial? I can't remember what was involved, but I recall a sense of inevitability. Obviously, whatever happened drove him here. But, my God, he is so alone.
Not always.
Hello, Clark.
Cal. Diana, haven't seen you in months. What brings you to the farm? the vain hope that you're still not, or you're not still here. These are my roots. You can't live forever in solitude. I'm Superman. I can do anything. Except, apparently, face your fear. So yeah, all these farm animals are actually, I should have mentioned this, but they represent the super animals from the 50s. So there's Crypto, there's the super horse. I don't know if Streaky, the super cat, is there. I'm not sure. But I'm not afraid of him. I didn't mean him. I meant Cal. You've lost so much since I first met you. Earthlings die. You know that. They were your parents, Cal, and she was your wife. Don't call them Earthlings. Hear me out. I I have work to do, Diana. Here, things grow. Really? Think again. You're spooking the animals. At least I provoked a reaction in something. Listen to me, damn it. I came with news. From the outside. Bad news. It's shaken the world. Cal, he's out of control. I tried to tell them that 10 years ago. And they didn't listen. I know. Stop punishing them. I'm not interested. I see. Do you live in nothing but lies? Here are 2 words. See if they sound familiar. Truth and justice. You can't have completely forgotten them. So yeah, they're in the Fortress of Solitude, so there's some like kind of Easter eggs. I don't know what this robot suit is, if this was in the comics or not, but I think that's the Kandor, City of Kandor. I think it is, I'm not sure. And there's Superman's parents. And there's actually, there looks like a T-Rex. That's actually from the Batcave. And there's, this thing was in, like, the last words of Superman. This was an All-Star Superman, this giant book. So yeah, that's from the Fortress of Solitude. And this robot, I think his name is like Kelor or something like that. I think he was in the Superman comics as well. Just see for yourself. See what he has let happen to the world. That's all I ask. And steel yourself. On. Per na nosia de Megog. Wachheben Jolot da Megog uns gavfort hat. Verlose brutalia de Megog. I don't know, yeah, so they're speaking Korean. El mundo fue choqueado por horribles actos. Inconceivable tragedy struck. American o nom de Megog. So there's all these like television screens related. There's some Easter eggs here. For some reason there's this like the iconic picture. I don't know what the painting's called, but it's like the farmer picture. Yeah, if you guys can see it, you probably recognize it. But yeah, I don't know why that's. I think there's just in the comic. There's kind of just like random bits of like pop art in the comic. But this is Peacemaker. This is supposed to be Peacemaker. So the superhero team that was involved in the destruction of Kansas was called the Justice Battalion. And they're actually composed of Charlton Comics characters, like with the exception of Magog and the Metalman Alloy, I think his name is, the big robot. But there's like a little Easter egg to Charlton Comics. There's Blue Beetle. This guy, I can't remember, the guy with the red and black. Thunderbolt. Peacemaker, He looks like Boba Fett. He's meant to resemble Boba Fett and the Question. So yeah, and there's also Judo Master here, the Kingdom Come version, and Captain Adam is not there, or Captain Adam's up here, I think, somewhere. Yeah. So yeah, that's all the chart. It's like a kind of a reference. The superhero team is a reference to the Charlton Comics heroes. Magog. Fight began in the American city of St. Louis, where Magog and his Justice Battalion descended upon the weathered parasite. And there's Nightshade here. She wasn't in the television screens. And she's another Charlton Comics character from the Captain Atom stories. Battle raged to the wheat fields of Kansas. Witnesses characterized the parasite as fearful. "Leave me alone! Leave me alone!" Claims' pleas for mercy were ignored. Speculate that tragedy might have been averted had Magog relented. Parasite obviously panicked. So this goes first. Onlookers staggered, and yet not surprised, by the savagery of Magog's attack. Magog, one of the new breed of heroes, known to many as the one responsible for the Superman's farewell to Metropa. Parasite, obviously panicked by the beating, his surrender refused. Parasite unleashed a desperate salvo towards the nuclear-powered Captain Atom. These final words belong to the W. Key's on-site cameraman. I changed the accent because it's like, it's different news reports. "What's he? Oh my god! The parasite split Captain Atom open! Eculo fu la fine. Early reports indicate immediate casualties, numbering close to 1 million, as the dying atom's radioactive energy swept hundreds of kilometers, rendering the entire state of Kansas, as well as parts of Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri, an irradiated wasteland. Though Magog's comrades have since prevented further spread of the nuclear blight, the total loss of America's breadbasket, the sterilization of its agrarian culture, has thrown the world economy in a near collapse in the face of global famine. Magog, along with the Metalman Alloy, the sole survivors of the incident, could not be reached for off. Cal, please. Our generation takes its lead from you. We always have. You must face this. If you don't, neither the rest of us. And it just goes on. Cal? There's nothing I can do from here. Go back to your island, Diana. You're safe there. So she leaves the Fortress Solitude. Neither will the rest of us. Who? Those who, a decade previous, felt the crush of Superman's greatest and most necessary failing. His inability to perceive himself as the inspiration he is. The shock of seeing Superman suddenly abandon his never-ending battle took an immeasurable toll on his contemporaries, his peers. Some, their spirits stripped, chose Superman's path and retired. Others, unable to turn their backs completely on the world they know, continue to use their special abilities to champion order. Well, some in some most clandestine ways. So this explains to most of the Justice League members. In the time of Superman's absence, Keystone City has become a utopia, a protectorate relentlessly patrolled by a gale force once human.
No one sees him. No one hears him. He runs a lonely race. But all who live here have felt his presence. He is everywhere at once, a guardian angel who rights even the most harmless of wrongs with lightning speed. Oh, he lives between the ticks of a second. He is the Flash.
Now this Flash, so he became so fast that he's almost like omniscient, sort of. It's kind of like very bizarre, but uh, judging by the helmet, you'd probably think that this is the supposed to be like the Jay Garrick version, but this is actually Wally West. Which apparently it's written that it's apparently Wally West. But I think there's a theory that all the three Flashes, or not the Barry Allen Flash, but Jay Garrick and Wally West like merged or something, or the Speed Force merged into all the speedsters and created this Flash. So I don't know what particularly happened, but yeah. So Wally West is now like an omniscient being, kind of.
Another of yesterday's guardians has since claimed the Pacific Northwest as his eyrie. Some call him a savior, others an environmental terrorist. He is feared, and justly, by those who would deprive the beasts and birds of their sanctuary. His name is Hawkman.
Now, what Hawkman this is, this version of Hawkman. Hawkman is a very extremely confusing history. So so this guy looks more like an actual hawk than like a human being. He's like a half hawk, half human.
Yet another takes refuge high above the earth's surface, his self-made emerald city twinkling in the night sky like a verdant star. There, Green Lantern commands a lonely throne, ever vigilant, ever waiting for signs of threats extraterrestrial. He waits still.
So yeah, like I said earlier in the video, even though this looks like, because it's on Oa, which is the Green Lantern Corps, and Alan Scott had really nothing to do with the Green Lantern Corps. You think, or Corps, you'd think that this Green Lantern is actually Hal Jordan, but it's not for some reason. It's Alan Scott. And later, Alan Scott in the comics would wear a suit just like this for a brief period of time. And
the gods of yesteryear no longer walk among the humans, Norman McCay. Instead, cued by Superman's surrender, they journey apart, divorced from the common men whom they once so gladly served.
So this is Atlantis, the Themyscira, and then there's the Legion of Superheroes. So I guess Supergirl also left to the future. So that's why, well, Power Girl's in this story. I guess that's why. Or no, it wouldn't be, because Supergirl would have been dead when this comic was made. But anyway, I don't know. But that's just showing like all the civilizations. They have lost themselves in ancient civilizations and future times. Actually, that could be Superboy, um, the Connor Kent Superboy. Actually, he might have went to the future. That's probably why he wasn't in this story. One thing I'm really confused about, Tim Drake is never mentioned. Tim Drake isn't in this story or doesn't make a cameo. So I don't know. Obviously, yeah, Dick Grayson is in this story, but there's no mention of Tim Drake at all. There's no, even though he was the Robin when this comic was made. So either in this world he died, or he never became Robin, or he's retired or something. But
They have left humanity to its own fate.
And what of those who weren't gods? I seem to remember another, one who made his home in Gotham City. What has become of the Batman?
Batman.
Yeah, the Gotham City kind of looks like the animated series Gotham City, especially with all like the retro cars and that. And these like criminal, they're actually supposed to be like based on Fat Albert, which is really bizarre. But yeah, they all look like they're actually all modeled off of Fat Albert. In fact, you can see Fat Albert right there. Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. But yeah, so they're robbing somebody, and the Bat Robot comes and finds them. And there's a bunch of them. There's Fat Albert again. And yeah, they apprehend. So they just I don't think they kill him because Batman doesn't kill people, but they probably they're probably gone to jail now. But
Batman has his city under control.
That's all? That's what you have to show me?
That disturbs you?
Yes, you're an angel. That makes you a messenger of hope.
At no time did I promise you hope.
A greater power sent you. Your very existence is a testimony to faith. You mean that all you have to tell me is that those who could save us won't? And the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up, and the sun and the air were darkened. That's what Wesley saw. The destruction of Kansas was truly the beginning of the end. For those who call themselves heroes now share a silent guilt. Look around us! They're worse than before. They're not acting out of boredom. They're acting with abandon. Before Kansas, they at least had some grasp of responsibility. Now they haven't even that. Nothing matters. They're following Magog's reckless lead, and they're out of control.
So all this chaos is happening.
And Wonder Woman was right. This madness will go on. And on. Don't you understand? If any of us are to survive, any of us, now more than ever, we need hope. And suddenly, there was a wind. No, not a wind. A blur.
Oh no, that's him. Sorry about that.
And suddenly, there was a wind. No, not a wind. A blur of motion, bending the steel of their weapons, and changing the very course of the mighty river below. Even before the bystanders free themselves from the cable car, they knew. We all did. We knew and remembered. Look! Up in the sky!
And it's Superman carrying the villains.
He had not turned his back on us. He stands in the sky, faith rewarded. He has returned. And, dear God, the threat of Armageddon hasn't ended. It's only just begun.
And that's the end of that story, or this issue of Kingdom Come. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry I made a lot of mistakes in the video. Sorry about that, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.